Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4. Endurance Round 3 of the World Endurance League is here, right here in a very, very damp Brands Hatch. So starting off with the running start onto the Ducati Panigale V4R EM. That is a long, long word. Oh my god, carnage! Just as this Grand Prix begins, absolute pillock in front of us, drops the motorcycle, and of course we collide into them. Now, this Grand Prix is, it's been interesting, because I had to record this one twice, and the very first victory I got in this track on this particular Endurance League was absolutely phenomenal. Probably the best race I ever did in Ride 4. And it didn't record the final 5 minutes of that Grand Prix. Now, I'm probably going to mention this a few times, especially in a comparison to this particular video. I'm absolutely livid that it didn't happen. I really am. I'm absolutely gutted, and it isn't because I had to do this video twice. It's just simply because of how great that other endurance race was. Now, I'll ask you straight away, because I'll probably keep bringing this up because I'm still a bit upset about it. But if you do want to see the 35 minutes of it, I can still upload it at some point. It's entirely up to you guys. But the last 5 minutes was, of course, the best part of it. Didn't materialise, of course, so just putting that out there now. This one's certainly not one of my proudest endurance races, I'll be honest, because of course comparing it to what just happened, these things are a little bit different on board the Ducati Panigale V4. But ahead of us right now we do have Paul O'Connor, who started 9th place. He's on board the Kawasaki Ninja ZX-10RR. Brilliant choice of motorcycle, but he's not doing it justice, sitting at the back of the grid here at 11th. Valérie Tremblay, she must have started all of this because she was in 6th place. So either she bumped somebody or she got bumped from behind. I'm not too sure. But she's on the MV Agusta, so there's no reason that she didn't have the acceleration to escape. So I don't know what happened there. And of course, going into Druids for the second time of asking, 38 minutes remaining of this session. Plenty of time to mount a comeback, because we are 7 seconds behind. I do like giving the other riders a bit of a lead, so it's not all the end. It's not the end of the world, but still, it's not too bad for us to consider fighting back from 7 seconds behind. Of course, that's 7 seconds to the leaders. Only about a tenth and a bit here to Paul O'Connor and Valérie Tremblay as we go into the slipstream, or at least avoid the slipstream somewhat, and then back into the slipstream. As we go around the outside of the two riders, can we do that? That was certainly worth thinking about, but unfortunately it didn't materialise there. Breaking into the right-hander of the Westfield Bend, turn 6. Gotta say, I absolutely adore Brands Hatch, but isn't that just typical British weather? Always raining. Now, the other video I did, the rain was the biggest part of it, is what made that video so interesting. Now, basically, for context, the entire race was completely wet, and then halfway through it decided to dry. So I lied there, not the complete race. So half of the Grand Prix, let's say, was completely sodden, and then finally it started to dry out. Now, it dried out from about 20 minutes in to about 12 minutes remaining, maybe a little bit more. The track was basically bone dry. As I've gone wide here into the Paddock Hill Bend, oh my goodness, first mistake of this Grand Prix, first mistake of many. I was just bloody useless after this one. After I was given greatness in the previous Grand Prix, this one came to this. I mean, 12 seconds behind now, we just have to do all that work again. We're on a magnificent Ducati, so it's not the end of the world, as we mentioned earlier. I do love this Ducati. It does feel rather heavy compared to some of the other bikes. It's been a while since I've actually used the Ducati Panigale, and it does feel heavier. It also feels planted. Yeah, I'd say planted is probably the term I'm going to use. It doesn't seem to wheelie. It doesn't seem to really batter an eyelid no matter how much you push it. But every now and again you will get caught out and it does end up kicking you off. So it's a unique one, and I do love this bike. I can see why everyone loves it and why everyone goes fast on it. I think the speed itself, of course, is just ridiculous anyway. It's a very, very fast motorcycle. But I'm digressing to the point I was trying to make regarding the previous Grand Prix. So 12 minutes remaining, I decide to jump into the pit. And I say, let's go mediums, full slicks. The track is bone dry. Why not let it fly and go for the slicks? Immediately the second I exited the pit, I made one corner and it started raining again. And now Ride 4, when the rain comes, it just buckets it down in seconds, and the entire track was wet. So I had no choice but to go into the pit. So therefore I wasted not only just 30 seconds on a fuel and a tyre change, I ultimately wasted about 1 minute and 5 seconds because of a sheer amount of pit stops. So that put me about 15 seconds behind in about 7th place to catch Valerie Tremblay, who's in 10th place currently, into well, probably 15 seconds gap in about 10 laps, I guess, maybe not even that. And we didn't have long, and I absolutely went for it, and it was some of my best overtakes, so I am tempted to show you anyway at some point, but unfortunately the best part of it is when I finally do chase down Valerie Tremblay, she crashed anyway. So that's the part you'll never see because unfortunately it never recorded, but she crashed anyway going into the pits. I don't know why she wanted to pit anyway, she still had like 12% fuel left, but I caught her and ultimately won. And yeah, so this one I'm a little bit upset about. I'm really honestly, I feel more upset for you guys because you guys didn't get to see it, so I do apologise. I'm really sorry I didn't manage to deliver the best content I could. I'm very upset about it, honestly. I'm really disappointed in it. It was my fault. I'd recorded about 6-7 videos in one day, so I was getting a bit tired, and I didn't realise that my memory card was full. My memory card, what is this, the PS2? My SSD had filled. Now I'm thinking about ordering another SSD, so don't worry about ever happening again. It's completely my fault. I don't usually do that. I'm usually pretty good on the recording to make sure that I've always got space. But yeah, past DrAce is a bit of an idiot. So, of course, past DrAce showing his skills here into Druids as we go wide again, rocking the Jack Miller helmet. If you didn't recognise that, that of course wasn't made by me because I'm bloody useless at editing stuff like that. But there is some phenomenal helmets on the Ride 4 editing site. What do you even call it? The Online Creator Suite, is that what it's called? We'll call it that for the time being. Now, I appreciate I've not really mentioned much about this Grand Prix yet, and the majority of it's just been me being upset, because I generally considered, do we even, do you want to see this one, or should I just skip it? And I was like, no, let's do the Grand Prix again. 40 minutes, spent turns to an hour and a half of me doing endurance races at the same track. So it is one good thing, I got the credits for winning the other Grand Prix. I got the model affinity for the Ducatis. We go wide again. Come on, mate. Past DrAce is so bad, I'm telling you. Current DrAce, though, oh, he's so good. He knows his stuff. But ultimately, this one, my attention span was just everywhere but the actual race itself. Now, I mentioned this in the first endurance round that I was so disappointed with my performance in that one. I think it's just because I'm so much of a perfectionist that I have to get it right. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind crashing and I don't mind going wide, but it's when it happens more often than not. So already in this Grand Prix, I probably would have restarted already, but I was running out of time because, well, I still had to get content made. This was one of the last ones before I ultimately decided to record the rest of the videos, because I'll record most of my gameplay and then do all the voiceovers afterwards, or doing the voiceovers every other day, however it may seem, because of course I'm trying to balance all the content out in a minute so I can get things done for the next couple of games coming out, and then I'm going to try and incorporate more live streams. So I really want to try and get ahead of my content. So I can do a couple of maybe a day. I do a couple of days in advance, but I'd like to maybe do a week in advance. But of course, it's so difficult when you get DLC packs to drop out. So like the Ulster GP quickly dropped out yesterday, and I wasn't prepared for it, I'll be honest. So, but yeah, enough of me ranting anyway and rambling. Back to the Grand Prix. That's why everyone's here. We want to focus on this Grand Prix. So 3 seconds behind from Paul O'Connor. It's time for us to do what we do best, and that is race. Going into Sheens, 10 past 4 here, 23 degrees in the very damp Brands Hatch GP. It's typical English weather, something I'm very accustomed to. I actually don't mind the wet, don't mind the rain. It's absolutely fine for me. Going into the Clark Curve, where we've seen Luke Fox meet his demise in the Honda RC181 video. If you've never seen that video, actually, that was a quite good video where I decided to go old school with that one. A lot of you guys seem to enjoy that one. As we flick it right for the Paddock Hill bend, a brilliant corner. I like to use a bit of the rumble strip there, probably not that much, but at the same time it's absolutely fine. Going into Druids for turn 2. Nice, decent amount of acceleration there. We didn't drop beneath 40 miles per hour there. Firing out to the next couple of corners. Turn 3 for the Graham Hill bend. 51 thousandths of a second down on our fastest lap, as we almost got a penalty time there, so do be careful. Otherwise you do get handed a bit of a chunky penalty for going onto that part of the green. Into Surtees, turn 4, fire the Ducati out. This Ducati is so good on the acceleration. I think I was running anti-wheelie 2 in this one, which I didn't realise till halfway towards the end. Not something I usually run. I'm usually happy with the anti-wheelie of 1. but for some strange reason I left it on 2. I don't even know what bike I was using. Probably the world record lap that I did at Daytona. I don't even think that lap record is mine anymore. I'm guessing one of the aces has definitely decimated that one. At the time of me recording this one, it is still my world record for the time being. Now, I don't hold any other world records at the minute because I have a YouTube channel and I post my discovery and my performance on there, and someone immediately takes that as a challenge and beats it. And of course, we are doing the world record time challenge anyway. Finally, using a massive amount of speed, we get up at the inside of Valerie Tremblay, breaking into turn 1. Oh my goodness, another mistake! Oh, why? 11 minutes in, and I don't think I've ever made this many crashes, mistakes, and just absolute hashes in any Grand Prix before. I've gone wide here again into Druids. This, I think why I really wanted to push forward how much I was frustrated earlier is because of my performance in this one. My riding style definitely shows my personality. And I think my mum always told me about this when we went driving in the car, for example. She would always tell me that person who drives aggressively will be an aggressive person. So people who are selfish on the road will be selfish everywhere else. And so far, it's looking like I'm riding like an exasperated man. And yes, I'm all over the place. Definitely need to get back into the zone, focus a little bit more, and put the energy into somewhere which is good, and that is to make sure the 2 wheels on this motorcycle stay on the ground at all times, and DrAce stays on board the motorcycle, and his bum is well and truly in the seat. So we need to focus. We'll do that in a moment's time. Down by 5 seconds. Of course, 12 seconds to the leader. But the good thing is, it's still interesting so far because we're 30 minutes left of this Grand Prix hereabouts, and we've still got a lot of riders to get through on. And I'm always happy to keep overtaking the AI. I do love practicing the skills on overtaking. I would like to do that same overtaking skill online, but it's a little bit difficult because you have to take in the human element. So when we do the live streams, etc., I'm always preoccupied in the live streams anyway, and I'm always a little bit nervous. I still get the bit of a nerves. I don't get them against the AI, of course, but when I'm playing online, I do tend to get a little bit nervous. I don't think that's just me either. I do remember speaking to Ikai's, or now Luna Luca. He does the same thing as me. He does get a little bit nervous, you know, a little bit on the toes when you play online, because you don't want to ruin anyone else's online race. I think even Fuchs is the same, which, of course, he's an esports rider, and he still gets a little bit of a nervous thing. So I'm sure we all do in our own way, but some people manage it a little bit better than others. But digress once more because we're about to take Valerie Tremblay, our first clean overtake of the race. I'm happy with that overtake so far as we went to turn 6. Turn 8 coming up now. I do think turn 8 is not a viable overtaking position, but you can overtake there, but it's tough. Now Sterling's turn 9 is definitely an overtaking spot. You see it a lot in actual British Superbike, and I've done it myself a few times. I think I do it even in this race today. So keep an eye out on Sterling's with turn 9. As Yoko Fujikawa is ahead of us. He started in 5th place, so a bit of a bad start for him, or at least a bad middle of the race. He's on board the Yamaha YZF R1. Fast lap of the race goes to us so far with a 1:24.693. George Adams just ahead of us. He's having a relatively decent race. He's pretty much where he is where it started, as he goes a little bit wide there into Druid, sliding the rear of his motorcycle of the Aprilia RSV4 as we go up in the inside of the Graham Hill bend. Beautifully done. I think I've overtaken everyone in at least one particular corner on this track. Even the corners you're not supposed to overtake. Suraj Pand started 10th place. He's slowing me down, if you couldn't mind moving. Oh, he got the message. He was on board the Yamaha. He certainly wasn't going to out-drag me to the next corner. Underneath the Brembo sign we go. Richard Tresoldi ahead of us. He started 11th place on board that Suzuki. He's doing pretty well so far. Up by 5 positions. I think we're going to attack him here. We certainly are. Beautifully done into the Westfield bend. Alvin Finch ahead of us. I'm liking this bit of a streak we're on now. It looks like we're concentrating a little bit more now. Going around the outside. Oh, a little bit too close. But we do actually end up going around the outside. Can we flick up with the inside? You betcha. Right on cue. Only just mentioned Sterling's. 25 minutes of this Grand Prix left, and the overtakes are coming thick and thin. Fast and furious. I love it. Chester Anderson in 4th place. Whoa, what's happened to the Chineseman? Good job he was invisible, otherwise we would have been decimated into that corner there. A bit like Luke Fox got absolutely annihilated as we use the speed of the Ducati past Chester Anderson. Chester Anderson started second. He was also on board the Ducati Panigale V4R, and he didn't look like he used the same pace. Maybe we are just quicker. We just have the speed. The AI just doesn't quite have the speed, does it? It never seems to have that same amount of oomph as the player does. Talk about a good few successful laps. I mean, we're already up into the podium positions. Looking a lot nicer now, I must say. I'm a little bit more happier now because my performance has been dire so far. Really not happy with the performance in this one. I don't think my other reason was an excuse. A little bit annoyed about that one, so I guess that's going to be it. Just want to give a quick shout out to a couple of people while I have the time, because of course we are 5 seconds behind Eric Toman and Michaela Marciel. So a quick shout out to Designer and quick shout out to Whizbang. Just want to say a big thank you to those two for helping me support the channel. Just received a couple of donations from them a couple of days ago. I just want to say I'm very touched by it, and I just want to say thank you. So thank you very much to you two. I really appreciate you doing that. Helps support the channel, and it'll even help me support buying a brand new SSD that isn't going to get filled every other couple of seconds. So I want to say just thanks for that one, guys. I really appreciate that. There's Michaela and Eric Toman have both just crashed before going into the pit. Is that another bug we're going to have to contend with now in Ride 4? As we now are into the lead. And it's going to be, again, we're going to have to sort of buckle down and try and slow things down. Probably going to drop it down to maybe power setting 1? Or power setting... Is it? No, it doesn't go that, and that's MotoGP I'm thinking of. Probably drop it down to... Yes, go to eco mode. That's the one. Less performance and less consumption. So brake into the Graham Hill bend in a moment's time. Beautifully done for turn 3. Using the speed of the Ducati, careful of not going into the outside of the track there. Braking a little bit late here. Oh, braking late for very late. Oh my goodness, very late for Surtees. Please don't crash. Oh no. Second time. Is that my second crash or third crash? You know what? I'm going to just hold back. I don't even deserve to hold the lead. Let some riders get through and let's chase him down. See Wade crashed earlier on. He's 30 seconds behind. So I'm not even going to bother waiting for him because that'd be too much of an advantage. The rain looks like it stopped ever so slightly. It's not stopped completely, but at the same time it's slowed down, let's say. So we can now chase up to Yoko Fujikawa. If anything, those crashes have made this Grand Prix a little bit more interesting. Definitely a bit more interesting for us all. 22 minutes remaining of this session. Plenty of time left to mark a wonderful comeback. I'm sure it's going to happen sooner or later. Unless I just have another collapse and end up crashing again, which I really hope isn't the case. I really don't want to crash. I hate crashing. And it's not just the embarrassment of crashing, it's just that the motorcycles don't deserve to be chucked around like that. These are magnificent machines that don't deserve to be. Chester Anderson, what has gone on here? George Adams is in the gravel. Chester Anderson's panicking, he's trying to get into the pit. Alvin Finch is in the pit. Richard Trasoldi, Yoko Fujikawa, DrAce is your top 3. Oh no, there is Paul O'Connor in there somewhere as well. Oh, he's in second place as Richard Trasoldi. He's already up into Druids as we just enter turn 1. Braking for the right-hander of Druids ourselves here at 6:30, 21 degrees here in Brands Hatch. It doesn't look like the track's going to dry anyway, even if the rain stops. I think at this point of the session, I don't think the rain would have... Even if it stops, I don't think the track would eventually dry. I don't think there's enough laps for that one. As we go around the outside of Yoko Fujikawa, not quite. Fujikawa runs it a little bit wide. Use the speed of the Ducati. Brilliantly done. Get into the slipstream of Mr. O'Connor. And use everything this Ducati's got. We're still on power consumption, eco mode. keep getting that wrong. Coming around the outside of Paul O'Connor, rocking a beautiful yellow helmet. Oh, a little bit wide there onto the grass. Not wise to try and make an overtaking manoeuvre when that's just occurred. 14% of fuel for Paul O'Connor, 25% for us. Can we go up the inside? Oh, I definitely thought about it though. I would definitely love to go up the inside. Can we go up the inside of Sterling's instead? Yes, you betcha. Turn 9 is ours. Did I call that corner turn 5 earlier? For some reason I want to say I did. If I did, my mistake. Past DrAce is not as smart as current DrAce, as I mentioned already. As we now go wide for turn 10, clock curve. Richard Trasoldi's going to the pit. 10% of fuel was he on? Yeah, I guess that's smart. I guess now it's time for us to just buckle down, do what we do best and concentrate on this Grand Prix. Give everything we've got on board this Ducati. Shout out again to that person who ever made the helmets for this Thriller Miller helmet. It's absolutely stunning. Really, really good job. I'm using my own Ducati livery, I think. I don't remember. No, I think this is someone else's. I don't recall. It's basically the one from 2018, I think, as we go wide here. Slow it down so we don't get that penalty. Hate seeing that penalty. It's ugly. Horrible red penalty sign on the right-hand side. MotoGP's used a yellow penalty, and I don't think it's as bad. But the big red sign is just, oh, it's awful. It's really awful. Approaching 100 miles on board this Ducati as well, by the way. In fact, actually, speaking of milestones, if you will, milestones, well, the game. See a bit of a pun there. We're very close to hitting 1,000 subscribers now as well, guys. So if you are enjoying this video and you haven't yet subscribed, I would be very grateful if you could click that subscribe button to help me get to 1,000 subscribers. We are so close, and it will help the channel out massively if you could just click that button. And even leave a little like button while you're there, because I mean, you've got to scroll down to press the subscribe button. You might as well click the like button since you're there. Or even dislike, you know, if you're not enjoying it and you're still here and 20 minutes in. I guess you can still go ahead and leave a dislike. I'm not promoting dislikes, but there you go. If you want to use it, I don't judge. It's entirely up to you. A little bit wide there, or a little bit too tight going over the grass as we complete lap 15. Ooh, a little bit out of shape there, braking into turn 1 for the Paddock Hill bend. It's just past 7 o'clock now, pitch black, or close enough to. Careful not to touch the outside of the track there. If you get caught on that part, forget it, because you can't go anywhere. You can't turn in the motorcycles, you have to keep going straight until the track levels out again. Flick it left for the Graham Hill bend. Gotta say, I'm going to mention it again, because I've already said it like 60 times, probably. I love this Ducati. It is absolutely gorgeous. It handles like a dream. I mean, I haven't really proven that here today because, you know, I made quite a lot of mistakes, but still, it does handle like a dream. It's very good, and it's super quick, super fast. I'll probably end up doing a time trial challenge with this one towards the end of the life cycle of this game, because I still don't think the Panigale V4 will ever be replaced as the fastest bike in Ride 4. I mean, not even the Suzuki Hayabusa, and obviously, of course, that is a very fast motorcycle. Not as fast as the Ducati in this video game. No way. I mean, even the I think the BMW S1000RR was once the fastest motorcycle in the world. I want to say that was the thing, but I don't even know if it is. And of course, in MotoGP, just a couple of days ago, Johan Zarco set the new top speed record of 222 miles an hour, I believe. That is ridiculously quick, isn't it? I hope we can match similar, or at least the same times at MotoGP 21 when that finally arises in just over a month's time now. Cannot wait for that. I'm super excited. Of course, MotoGP starts just next week, so of course I'm getting a little bit giddy for that one. Expect a MotoGP Qatar review at the end of that one. Not sure how I'm going to do that just yet, and I don't know whether I'd need permissions or rights or anything like that, but I will do a bit of a review or race recap if it's allowed. So I'll let you know how it goes. Hopefully I can communicate with you guys and you can give your opinions, and we can have a good old chat about the latest MotoGP victory or race or whatever you want to call it, or podium, whoever's going to finish on the podium for MotoGP. Of course, Qatar, I love Qatar. I think it's a fantastic track, even in the video game and even to watch. It's quite the spectacle. It's probably the best way to start a season as well, because it really gets the blood flowing. In Europe, quite late for it as well, especially being here in England. I have to go, oh, massive moment into the Dingle Dell. Get into the pits. I think we've had enough of this one. I think it's time to swap back to the rain tyres. My goodness, that caught me off guard. I was just chilling and reminiscing about MotoGP and not having to get up early to watch all the MotoGPs like the Moto3, etc. Can't wait for it all to start. But it's time to go jump into the pits. I'm going to grab a drink, stuttering my words here. Voice is going to hell, so I'll see you in a minute. So back on board the motorcycle, Wei, Suraj Pand, Mikhaila, both ahead of us, Valerie Tremblay, Eric Toman, Alvin Finch. We lost a lot of positions there by going into the pits, but of course now we have 100% of fuel, fresh rain tyres on board this motorcycle. I can't see us having any issues now. Dropping it to default mapping, oh careful, oh my goodness, I probably shouldn't have done that there. I tried to get the default mapping and I went too wide, so big mistake on my part. As Richard Soldi is ahead of us. Not the best Grand Prix for him so far. I mean, it's still an improvement from starting from 11th place to potentially in 7th place. He goes wide here. Ducati says thank you very much. Cut his nose off a little bit going into that corner there. But it's quite alright for us. Maybe not so much for him. 15 minutes of this session remains. I think we're going to be alright. I mean, we're 7 seconds behind, but we're so much quicker than the AI. I can't see it being a problem. Quick shout out to Sergio as well for doing absolutely wicked liveries. I've just seen his new livery for the DrAce time trials on board the MV Agusta EM. Of course, that being for the Daytona World Record lap time, for the DrAce time trial challenge number 7, I think it is. It's amazing to think we've done 7 challenges of that already. I will definitely continue those, and I might even chuck a MotoGP lap time one in. The MotoGP ones aren't going to be as good because it's very specific on the bikes you have to use and the tracks. So of course you can only pick MotoGP, Moto2 and Moto3, or maybe chuck in a few classics. But of course there are some ridiculously quick riders on MotoGP compared to Ride 4. I'm very curious to see how the level of the competition is this year. I'll try and get into the esports as Alvin Finch makes a wonderful move up on the inside of me there. I won't be going into the esports with letting Alvin Finch get ahead of me like that. Definitely not. Now every single time I try to do the esports, I've usually come around 50th to 100th. So I don't think I'll be going in the MotoGP esports. I'll definitely try though, and I'll definitely cover my journey along the way, which is probably just up to the round 1 where I don't even make it. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. I'm curious to see if I can get into it this year. Doubt it, but as long as I'm still making content and it's entertaining, that's all that matters to me. I'll let Fuchs and a few of the other guys battle it out on the esports championship. As Valerie Tremblay has recovered quite nicely, she's up into 4th place. Brand new rain tyres for her recently, I think, and a 48% of fuel. Careful! Whoa, 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 whoa! Touch the outside of the track again on Dingle Dell. I've got to be careful with that one. Not with it today on this one. I really wanted to try and do a move up into Sheens, but of course it didn't happen. And instead I almost died in that corner. So I have to concentrate again now, get back into the thick of things. Eric Toman ahead of us. Of course, he had a absolutely massive high side in Imola, where he almost dies. We can use the speed to get past Valerie Tremblay, not quite. Tremblay still into turn 1 as the stronger rider. Well, he's soon coming to an end. Can I flick up on the inside and get her here? Not quite. Defended very well into Drew. It's going to go a little bit wide here. I could definitely take advantage, but not quite. Definitely could have, but I'm glad we didn't. There was no rush for that one. Can we get him into... Oh, I thought about it. Oh, I definitely thought about it. But again, Valerie Tremblay holding us up 7 seconds to the leader. As we slide the rear into the corner there of Surtees. Tremblay also sliding in, but not fashionably. She goes too wide and reduces herself to 5th place. As DrAce takes 4th. And the onslaught to get into the first couple of positions is on again. So we go into the Hawthorne Bend, turn 5. Use the speed of the Ducati, kicking it out, going up to turn 6. Hold it right for the Westfield Bend. A little bit wide there, but it's alright. We've got the rumble strip to aid us around that corner. Brake earlier and a bit tighter this time for turn 7 for Dingle Dell. Turn 8 for Sheens, navigated perfectionly. Turn it left again for Sterling's turn 9. Use the rumble strip on the outside if you want to. It does have a bit of an extra rumble strip there for you to use. Of course, then a bit of a thin part, which is difficult to manage. As we're going to Clark Curve. This track is drying, but there's a nice chunky dry line on it, but I don't know. I'm not risking going onto the slicks after what happened in the other race. Although I would like the entertaining factor of it being potentially raining again, but at the same time, we've not even been that good in this one. We've been very, very un-ace in this one. It's not been usual ace. Un-ace is what I'll say. Like what they say about the dude in the Big Lebowski, they call it very un-dude. This is very un-ace. Not a good performance from me so far. I'll definitely hold my hands up and say move on to the next one, which is Nürburgring GP, which is round 4 of the 5 World Endurance Leagues. I think it's only 5 rounds. Round 4, Nürburgring GP. Round 5, Suzuka. Of course, Suzuka being probably the king of endurance races, or Le Mans, which of course we don't have here. But still, it's nice to do an endurance race. I don't think I'll ever do those 8 hours and 24-hour ride for endurance races, because at this point MotoGP 21 is right around the corner, Monster Energy Supercross 4 is here, and it'll be difficult to balance it all in. Maybe once I'll do it on a big live stream, as I think we're going to have a little bit of a lunge up here onto Michaela. Beautifully done. Now into third place, the podium position back again. Suraj Pand, the Indian, he's into second place. Can we chase him down? I should imagine we do. A little bit wide. Oh my goodness, another mistake as Michaela gets back ahead of us. The Portuguese lady now up into lap 21. She's up into third place. Braking tight for the Paddock bend. I do apologise, my voice seems to be in and out of this one. Trying to say a few words and they keep disappearing on me. As we go, why no? We're on the... Oh my goodness, I mentioned it earlier. Try and avoid that part. I was very lucky to still stay aboard this Ducati. So easy to get distracted there and get onto the grass and realise you are well and truly stuck. 2.81 seconds of a penalty. Did I get extra penalty time for making that mistake into Druids? I'm not sure. Michaela goes wide, using the speed of the Ducati. A much tighter line and a hugging the apex there is key to make that corner so much better. Every time I can get through on the ride, it's just because they go too wide. Now onto the very hard braking zone for turn 5 of the Hawthorne bend. Hold it right. I think we can have a little lunge up here to turn 6. Oh, you betcha. Oh, he tries to fight back, but that's not good enough. Westfield bend is ours. Now going into turn 7, Dingle Dell, keep away from the left-hand side. Now, I've made that mistake ever since I had this game. Every single time we went to Brands, actually, I always end up touching the grass there, every time. Maybe if they just took a little rumble strip there just for me, a little ace rumble strip would go... Yeah, it would go wonders for me, I definitely think so. Not so much for the competition. Siu Wei, he is in the lead for the current being. Championship lead is still mine, of course. Winning 2 of the 2 Grand Prix so far. Of course, I'll be trying to win 3 on the bounce. We won every single round of the World Superbike League. Don't mind doing it again, well, at least half of it. It's, of course, only 5 races compared to the 10 in the World Superbike League. And I went wide again! Damn it, Dr. Ace, get your head back into the game. Focus on what you're doing. We need to tackle Siu Wei, chase him down, 0.2 of a second slower on this lap compared to the previous one, or in the fast lap which was set earlier on. Braking into turn 4 for Surtees. Looks like Wei was a little bit wide there. So we'll definitely be taking advantage of him if we this close behind him as the next lap comes around. 8 minutes of the session remaining. Not a massive amount here. Still got plenty of time though. 1 second gap to Wei. To DrAce, 3.5 seconds to Suraj Pand behind. Everyone's on the rain tyres. I don't think anyone's been brave enough to jump on the slicks yet, but I guess at this point of the Grand Prix, you would lose 30 seconds and go wide in the Dingle Dell again. You do lose 30 seconds for a tyre change, so... I don't know, I don't think it'd be wise. Personally, for me, I'm definitely not going to change it, just in case it rains again, because you never know. I got caught out with that last time. And as I say, with how quick the track fills with water, it's not even worth trying to risk it. Because the track literally fills in like a second. So it's just pointless. You might as well just give it everything you've got and just try and survive on the rain tyres. And look at that! Michaela's gone into the pit. Has Michaela opted for the slicks? Is she the guinea pig? Is she going to brave it first before than anyone? Be very interested to see where Michaela finishes. Wade goes a little bit wide. We're going to win the inside. Oh, Wade bumps us. We're through. Wade has lost the lead to DrAce. We are now into the lead. Championship is all ours, well and truly done and dusted if we win this one. And of course we will be continuing to win the rest of the Grand Prix for the next couple of videos. Well, each on a Friday, of course, next week and the week after. DrAce, second lead now, way behind. It's over for him. Big mistake letting the Ducati get through there. He should have fought back a little bit, but maybe his tyres are getting a bit tight. His fuel is down to 14%. We're on 60% of fuel, so there's no need for us to even consider pitting at any point now. I think we're still running at just default mapping as well. We're not on power setting or on the eco mode. I think we should be absolutely fine. 6 minutes of the session remaining. Plenty of time for him to march a comeback, but I don't think it's going to happen between you and I. I think DrAce on board the Ducati has got this one. So we go a bit wide for Sterling's there, but it's quite alright. So no one was going to be making a would-be lunge there, so it's quite alright. Braking in for turn 10 for the Clark curve. Using everything we've got. 80 miles per hour on the exit here. 100 miles per hour. We're just absolutely flying on board the Ducati now. Siu Wei has pitted. I'm probably not pronouncing that name right. And yes, Michaela did go into the medium and soft. Valerie Tremblay also pitted. This is getting interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Not interesting enough to sort of fight for the win, but at the same time, it's still very, very interesting. 6 seconds ahead of Suraj Pand. He's on 9% of fuel now. Is he going to be able to hold on to second? And Eric Toman there in 3rd place. He'll definitely want to do better than his disastrous finish in Imola, where he decided to test out his airbags. Of course, not a smart decision from the Czech Republican. Lap 24, I think it's going to be about 26 or 27, considering how long the lap is and how much time we have remaining, which is just 5 minutes. This one has gone relatively quick, actually. It's not been as bad as as I thought. Of course, an hour and a half into recording this particular race, for me at least. I said I wasn't going to mention it again, but I did. Or at least I don't even know if I did. That bloody race, I'm telling you. I still can't believe that happened, but never mind. I need to digress. Back into the action. I've done nothing but waffle in this one, so I do hope I've been able to keep you entertained with me just rambling on and going on about that bloody SSD of mine. It's my fault. I've got no one else to blame but me. And even in this race where I've just been very, very inconsistent, made far too many mistakes, again, that's down to me not doing the best of my abilities. So we now go into turn 1. And oh, Suraj, why have you pitted? Oh, Alvin Finch has pitted. Suraj Finch has pitted, so they're going to go onto the slicks. It's pointless. You're going to waste 30 seconds to gain what? The AI needs a slap, I'm telling you. That is pathetic. Why would anyone ever consider pitting at 4 minutes remaining? Just try and limp the bike home if you have to. We have 0.4 of a second penalty, by the way. I'm not happy about that, but it is what it is. As we hold it left for Surtees on this very... Is it dry yet? It looks dry. I don't know if it's completely dry. You could definitely get away with the slicks. Slicks are probably the best tyres. But my tyres don't look like they're overheating. Now, I don't know if it's a glitch in Ride 4, if it's just not really implemented well. But even when you're on slicks on dries, it does feel like it's difficult to brake and difficult to manoeuvre. But it ultimately doesn't feel like the tyres hot up too much. Or heat up, I guess I should have said. That's better English. But still, they don't heat up very hot. They heat up a little bit. Like, they are a very glistening green. But they're not red and they're not orange and they're not yellow. So, it doesn't seem too bad for me. We're going to be absolutely alright sitting out here for much longer. Person who's in 12th, is that Michaela? She's pretty far behind. I don't think I'm going to be able to pit, or at least lap her. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay, this is another bug in this game that just does my head in. Why is there a random wheelie occur when you are full throttle, you are full tuck-in, and you're pushing forward on the analog stick? Why is there a wheelie? Now, in the live stream that I did, I've done the highlights video, which came out Wednesday as well, if you wanted to watch that version. For some reason, I was on the Kawasaki Ninja in Phillip Island. Full throttle, full tuck-in, full analog stick forward, and the bike wheelied, and I just basically crashed. I still don't understand why that happens in this game. I can't understand the code to make it do that either, because maybe if I had a dodgy control and I was pushing back on the analog stick by mistake, maybe. But I don't know. Oh my goodness, look at that, it's raining again! 2 minutes remaining and it's raining again. Look how quickly the track fills up with water. It's piddling it down. That's not enough to even do your flowers. Look at it, there you go, it's soaked. It's absolutely sodden. It's soaked. Oh, I hope we get variable weather in MotoGP at some point. Look at that, it's absolutely sodden. It's caked in water. Just in that length of time. Oh, 11th, 12th. They're going to have to come into the pits and swap to the rain tyres, aren't they? Oh my goodness. Not much more else to be saying this Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an interesting one. Once again, I will apologise for my performance in this one. It's not been great. But at the same time, I hope you enjoyed this video so far. Richard Tresoldi has just dived into the pits. I think he was already on rain tyres, so he's probably just ran out of fuel. I didn't actually see how much he was on. So he's probably just going to jump in, get a fresh set of rain tyres. We're going to say slicks, but that would be wrong, because he'd be an idiot. We're on a fast lap here as well, actually. A bit of a wheelie there. I'm going to try and put the power up. Let's see if we can get a good lap time in here. Maybe we'll try and beat a 1:24.693 on this lap right here. Bit of a pointless effort to try and push on the final lap, but still, I like to just push things where we can. 4% of fuel for George Adams. I wonder if he's going to pit on the final lap. But I think as it stands right now, Paul O'Connor will take second. So that is a brilliant result for him. He started 9th place on board that Kawasaki Ninja. George Adams, who started 7th on board the Aprilia. And of course, DrAce, who started dead last on board the Ducati Panigale V4R EM. Well, It's 20 seconds remaining, so this is the final lap. Breaking into Surtees for the final time. Sorry, Sterling's turn 9. Getting a bit mixed up there. I was thinking about a wheelie, but do I deserve a wheelie in this one? I'm not even sure. I think it's just straight to the pits, take off the leathers. Oh, look, there's someone who's going into the pits. Maybe they just thought, sod it, we're not even going to bother finishing the race. But guys, that is it. That concludes today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Round 3 of this Endurance Championship is ours. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you haven't done already. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, and ciao for now. Oh, hi! Didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now, with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.